Hi, and welcome to Fit, Fabulous, and Over 50. I'm your host, Renee Miller. The goal of this show is to teach you how to become fit in the privacy and comfort of your own home. You will learn both functional and practical exercises designed to tone your muscles and get your heart rate up, get you moving. Now, listen, if you've never exercised before, you do need to consult with a physician. Otherwise, let's get started. Hi, today we are going to talk about losing weight. And if you're a person that needs to lose a great deal of weight or even a little bit of weight, stop and listen because this is the show for you. This show is going to encourage you to allow your body to patiently and slowly change to become more and more healthy. I'm going to interview today a very special lady who found herself in a predicament with obesity, a very serious predicament. She's going to tell us how she got to the point that she felt able to do something, what she did about it, and how she is continuing to change herself and her body and become more and more fit. And without further ado, Jean Williams, thank you so much for coming today. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
What happened? How did it all start? Give me a little synopsis about how you became obese and what got you to the point where you were able to do something about it.
Actually, my entire life had been centered around eating. Food was the most enjoyable thing I could ever do. I loved eating, especially carbohydrates, sweets, that type of thing. When I was very active, it didn't really matter. But after having 2 children and being married for 29 years, I found myself in a situation where my kids were out of house, gone to school, and I was 375 pounds.
Wow.
But I had my life and all these things that I wanted to do ahead of me, and I was actually immobile. I was not able to do anything that was physical for more than a couple of minutes. I had tried all of the traditional weight loss programs and had not been successful. And I finally made a decision that I was going to have weight loss surgery. Having had the surgery, I have now successfully lost about 175 pounds. And I feel like I've gotten my life back. I'm now 57 years old, and it's like the beginning of my life.
Wow. And you are such a beautiful lady.
Well, thank you.
When you got to 375 pounds, did you just wake up one day and say, oh my goodness, or was it a slow realization or?
Actually, I didn't realize I had gained that much weight because I also make the majority of my clothes. So I wasn't going into a department store to buy clothes. I would just make these things and they would I was using more and more material without realizing that I was like really just heavy. So when I finally went into Bloomingdale's one day to buy a dress, and I could not find anything, even in the large women's department, I had outgrown that department. And that was very depressing because there are not many people that you could talk about these types of things with. Taking in an airline trip, having to ask for an extension for the seatbelt. All these things are so embarrassing. Not being able to go to the movies because you need 2 seats instead of 1. But now I have my life back. I've been going to the movies almost every week now because I can sit in the seat and I don't have to spill over into someone else's position or their seating. And it's just excellent now that I have my life back.
Oh my goodness. The things that you're talking about, I think that for people who have never gained a great deal of weight, maybe we don't really understand. And like you said, it's hard to talk to really very many people about it. Many people probably wouldn't be very empathetic. But for people that have had a tremendous or have a tremendous amount of weight to lose, the things that Jean is talking about, those are like everyday things. How do I fit down an aisle? How do I sit in a seat that's made for a person half my size? How do I find clothing? Where do I go? I mean, where did you buy your hose and all those sorts of things?
How do you go to a restaurant and sit in a booth without knocking everybody's meal over. All these things were just took a tremendous amount of effort for me. But now I can go into a restaurant and I can sit any place I want and feel very comfortable.
Freedom.
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 But the other thing that had happened was because of the excess weight, I had some problems with my knees with arthritis, and I wasn't able to walk as easily as many other people would be because of the excessive pain. And I wanted to do something physically that was enjoyable for me, and I couldn't walk on pavement because of the pain. And I was introduced to aqua walking. As a result of that, I found myself enjoying walking for hours in a pool, in a heated pool. And I do that 5 times a week, and I'm now getting very, very fit.
So great.
It is just wonderful.
That is so great. Before you started being able to do that, I met you quite a while back, and one of the first things that was a consideration was that it was very difficult for you to move even back then. I've known you, I don't know how many pounds ago I knew you, but it's been a lot of pounds, and I watched you being very immobile even then. You had probably lost maybe, I don't know, 100 pounds by then, but because of the damage to your joints, which is a huge problem with people who, I mean, obesity doesn't just affect our heart, it doesn't just affect our lungs, it doesn't affect us in just the embarrassment or the social aspects, but it can ruin our joints, it can destroy our spine, our knees, because it's like putting huge rocks. And if we all walked around with huge bags of rocks on us, our bodies aren't built for that.
That's correct.
And so I remember months ago meeting you, and we talked about your fitness program and what you could or couldn't do. And it was such a natural fit for you to be able to get in the pool and to walk. And
not only walk, but I'm running. I'm actually jogging in the pool. I'm doing 200 jumping jacks in the pool without even feeling the pressure on my knees. It is just the most awesome thing that I'm doing something that I really enjoy doing. So I look forward to doing that every day.
Now, I want to speak with you for a minute more about the exercise, but the thing that is so amazing to me about what's happened with you, Jean, mentally, is that you went from being this immobile lady and almost feeling hopeless. You found a beginning, and then you took charge of yourself and said, now what am I going to do? How am I going to continue on? And not only does Jean do this for herself, but she's invited so many of her friends, and she now has a whole horde of people doing very similar things. Tell us about that.
Well, first I had to get an image of the real me in my mind, and I was able to do that by looking at my daughter, who looks almost exactly like I am.
She's
so once I
beautiful.
pictured the way I would look once I lost the weight, that motivated me to get moving. And once I started moving, it became natural for me to just continue on a regular basis. To just get in there and spend hours in the pool and to invite people that I knew who were struggling. Now when I see someone walking down the street and they're obese, I want to share with them what has happened. I have my life back and I'm feeling wonderful. I feel like I could conquer the world because I don't have this extra overweight person that I'm carrying around every day. And I still have about 50 pounds to lose, but I'm so excited because it's no longer a struggle. I know who I am. I know I'm very powerful. I know that I have a lot of things to do because I have to give my life back to others. And I'm looking forward to that. It's the giving of your life that you get your life back. And I'm excited about that.
Yes. And I don't know, I really am not sure how many people you've encouraged who maybe didn't have the same problem that you had in the terms of the largeness, but they all seem to have some weight to lose. You have encouraged so many of them, and I've watched you, I mean, I don't want to use the word proselytize, but really, when we find something that works for us and we realize that it's life-changing, we do want to share it with other people.
Because you identify the pain in everybody, and when you become free of that, you want to share with them what has happened to you. And they, looking for that same answer, will gravitate toward you. And it doesn't take a lot to encourage them to come.
No.
excited because I have now become an answer.
You have, and you're a living example. I mean, people look at you, and especially maybe larger ladies can look at Jean and say, she's my example. If she can do it, I can do it. Well, Jean, we're going to do a little bit of exercising here, and we're going to keep it really, really simple. But before we do, Jean, let's see what else we can do anywhere in the house to get fit. Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
I see you're taking your dog for a walk. Hi, Foxy. How you doing? What a beautiful day. It's a great day for a walk. And you know, walking is such a healthful exercise. It's excellent for your heart. It will get your heart rate up a little bit, hopefully unclog those veins. It's also great for muscle tone. And if you've got a pet, it's an excellent exercise for them also. Dogs need to get healthy. So those of you that have a dog, I admonish you, stop opening the back door and letting the dog out in the yard. Get that leash and get out and do some walking. It's great fitness for you and for your dog also. If you don't feel like you have any pep, any get up and go, you may be lacking in iron and B vitamins, particularly B12. Now, those are vitamins and minerals that give you pep and energy. Unfortunately, the greatest shot you can get of those vitamins and minerals all in one sitting is with red meat. Now, the thing about eating red meat is it's higher in fat. Some people don't like to eat it. But let me give you a couple of tips about getting red meat. Look for the words lean, select, or choice in your grocer's meat case. Only get meat that is completely red and doesn't have white lines in it or marbleization. It's better to have white around the outside of the meat because you can cut that away and most of it you can get rid of. So look for lean red meat and choose it only once, no more than a few times a month. But if you are borderline anemic, especially if you're female, this is a great way to get a good shot of iron and B vitamins. Oh, opening jars. Such a difficult thing to do for some of us, isn't it? I have 3 little exercises you can do to help yourself get stronger to open jars with ease. First of all, we're using 2 primary movers. We're using the wrist muscles that rotate from the elbow down to the wrist, and we're using the muscles of the hand itself. An easy and simple exercise you can do with a can is to do can turnovers. All you're going to do is place your hand upon the can, turn it over, turn your wrist across from the top and over again. And you're going to keep repeating this, working the rotators from the elbow to the wrist. Now this is an excellent exercise. It looks very simple, but it's going to be extremely beneficial in aiding you with wrist rotation. Very good. All right, second exercise. Take a simple kitchen towel. Fold it in quarters and then again, so it's thick. You're going to start from the inside of the towel and begin to twist, working the towel, much like you would do if you were wringing water out of a towel, and you want to keep twisting the towel and twisting the towel. Now this is going to aid the muscles both in the hands and the rotators. Once you have it all the way twisted, untwist it, and go the other way, making sure you get both sides of it. Really work the towel. It won't break. Keep twisting and wringing. What you'll find if you do this, let's say a set of 6 of these in each direction over a period of time, is that your muscles get stronger. Finally, especially for those of you that have problems with dexterity, take your kitchen towel, place your palm on top of the towel, and without moving the hand, use just the fingers to slowly begin to gather the towel in from all directions. Now, the goal is to make the towel as small as you can get it underneath your hand. Pull it in and really squeeze the towel. Now, once it's gathered under your hand, you're going to slowly work your fingers in the opposite direction, trying to open the towel back up to its previous position. Very good. Practice doing those often in your kitchen, and you won't be asking for help opening the jar anymore.
What's the end value of what you eat? What does end value mean? What is the nutritional value of what you eat? Ask yourself this question every time you put something towards your mouth. What is the nutritional value of what I'm about to eat? And if you can't answer in the plus zone with vitamins and minerals, then you need to think about whether it should be especially the main part of your diet, okay? So from here on out, ask yourself this: what's the end value?
Welcome back. Well, one of the things that Gene Williams has taught us is how important it is for us to burn calories at a higher rate than we would if we were just seated. She talked about loving to do water walking or aqua walking, and she's very effective in doing that. What we're going to do right now is talk about how you can burn calories at a higher rate. But first, I want you to learn something very important, and that is how to take your heart rate, all right? So we locate our heart rate in one of 2 places, either at our radial pulse, and we find that by going to our thumb and running our finger down the knuckles right into the very top of the wrist, and there's a little notch, almost a place to put your finger. And you should feel if you have a pulse there. The second place, and almost easier, is going down the neck just to where the thyroid cartilage, commonly known or used to be known as the Adam's apple, but it's probably the Eve's apple, and sliding it to the right or left and slipping your finger into the little valley on either side of that, gently pressing, not overly pressing. Sometimes if we press too hard, we have a problem and we actually cause the blood to squirt very quickly through the artery, and we don't want to do that. So just firm but gentle pressing. Ah, yes, we have a heart rate. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to find our heart rate, and we're going to practice taking a 10-second count. That's about the count that we want to take while we're doing activity. So let's say we're walking down the street and we've been walking for 5 or 10 minutes, and we want to find out, has my heart rate increased? Am I working harder? Am I challenging my heart, thus burning calories at a higher rate? This is how we're going to find out. So please locate your pulse, and you out there, locate your pulse. Do this too. And we're going to take a 10-second count. I'm going to say, ready, set, start counting. Stop. Okay, 10 seconds. At rest, most people have between 60 and 80 beats per minute. Now, how you're going to find yours is to multiply what you just counted by 6, and that will give you your minute reading. At rest, most people's heart rates, like I said, are between 60 and 80. When we get into our activities, and as we build our heart rate and get into more rhythmic activities like walking, like water walking, like the cute little things we're going to do to show you today that you can do even seated or standing in your own living room, we want to get our heart rate up to 100, 110, 120, and on up to, let's say, 140. So somewhere between 100 and 140. If you're older, you're going to want your heart rate is lower to begin with, and you're going to want it to go maybe to 100, 110. If you're younger, it should go a little bit higher, okay? Now, one of the most important things is if you are on medication for high blood pressure that slows your heart rate down, such as beta blockers or things like that, your heart rate is going to be artificially low to begin with, and it's going to stay lower than someone else your age. If you're not sure, you need to find out, ask your doctor, all right? All right, now, let's try doing some little bursts of caloric expenditures at a higher rate. And Jean and I, what we're going to do, Jean, is we're going to do some what we're going to call just chair marching to start out. Now, I'm going to set my watch, my chrono, and we're going to do 20 seconds of alternating knee lifts, also swinging the arms, sitting in your chair. Now, if you're more fit and you want to do this marching in your living room, feel free. Get up out of that chair and let's get going. But if you're like Jean, you have arthritis, you have other joint anomalies or problems, maybe your back bothers you, or maybe you are one of those ladies or gentlemen who are extremely overweight, sitting in your chair and getting exercise is a fabulous place to begin. Don't feel bad about it. Just get it going. All right, ready, set, go. Let's go, Jean. And we're just going to get those feet off the ground. Keep it going. We're going to bring some music up. And you can use your favorite music to do this in your own living room. And we're about 5 more seconds. Keep going. Keep those legs lifting, alternating, arms are going. And we're going to stop and just take a rest. All right. Now, you probably don't have your heart rate up too much yet, but you may have noticed a change. If you noticed a change, that's great. Now, what we're teaching you is we want to call this aerobic activity, but really when we do short bursts of activity, some physiologists, exercise physiologists would say that that's not really aerobic. But you know what? If you can't get up out of the chair to do much of anything, then 20 seconds on every minute is plenty long to get you started. And if you start with something you can do, then you will be able to continue to build it up so you can do more later. All right, so let's do our second set, 20 seconds, and see if you can really get those feet off the floor. Ready, set, go. And really get it up there. Let's go. Pull those abdominals tight, work the body, alternate just like you're marching. That's right. Make it meaningful to you. And you know, some of us have great patriotic music we love to play. You can get right into the spirit of America while you're marching in your own living room and getting more fit. And we went over this time. Let's stop right now. That was 30 seconds. How'd you do? Definitely got your heart rate up a little bit more this time. Very good. Okay, now I'm going to get up and I'm going to stand. Jean's going to stay seated, and we're going to go through the same rhythm pattern. And this time, Jean, I want you to really work those legs and think about pulling your abdominals in. Ready, set, go. And really lift it now. Make it meaningful. If you're standing, get those abdominals up. Don't let your abs hang. Lift up the whole body. Really work the arms. Pumping, pumping, pumping. Keep it going. Keep it going. Are you breathing a little bit harder now? Oh yeah, we're almost to that minute mark. We've done 30 seconds twice. And take a little rest. All right, very good. Okay, now let's do the same thing, but let's change the rhythm. You're going to stay seated, and we're going to go faster, faster, and then slow. And then we'll go fast and then slow. And you'll see that doing these very simple movements, you have been expending more calories than just sitting still. Now, if you're just watching, then you're cheating yourself. All right, ready, Jean?
Ready.
Here we go, and I'll just call it out. Let's start by fast. Going fast, really get those knees up. Now, let's slow it down and do some knee lifts. We're just going to do big knee lifts. Big knee lifts, really pulling your abdominals in. Work those legs. Whether you're standing or seated, your heart rate is going up. Keep it going. You can do it. Now let's pick up the pace and go fast. Going, going, going. Work your body. Feel alive. Breathe deep. Take some deep breaths. That's good. Keep it up, keep it up. Let's slow it down. And knee lifts. Big knees, big knees. Keep it up. Now you don't know it, but you've gone past the 30-second mark and you didn't even know. All right, one more time. Let's pick the pace up and go. Keep it going. Really working it. Pull those abs in. Keep the breath going. Let's see if we can burn 5 more calories. Come on, you can do it. One more time, slow it down and knee lifts, knee lifts, knee lifts, knee lifts. And stop. Woo, very good. All right. That's excellent. Now, whether you knew it or not, you did a minute plus. All right? Come on, Jean, let's stand up. Let's do just a few more little movements using the whole idea of doing rhythmical patterns and rhythmical movement, keeping it simple. And we're just going to step from side to side. So let's just step side to side. There you go. And just, you can do this in your own home. Just move those legs. You don't have to have any special gift for talent for dancing. You don't have to have any special gift of rhythm to do what we call rhythmical continuous activities. All you have to do, and let's just swing it, you can add some arms. All you have to do is have some music you like and a little bit of space, and as you can see, you don't even have to have too much space. Good. Keep it going. All right. Good, Jean, let's add a little lift with our arms. Good. Good, keep it up. It can be this simple, friends. You don't have to make it hard. Doesn't it feel so good to move? It does feel good to move. Good. What a way to know you're alive, right? Yes. All right, let's take a big march here, Jean. Just march. All right, now remember, if you're a person who is very obese and you've wondered how you can change your life, then I hope that you will take what you learned today from Jean Williams and you will begin to invest in your own life and allow your body to slowly change from not so healthy to healthier and healthier and healthier. And Jean, I want to thank you so much for joining me today on Fit, Fabulous, and Over 50. You too can do what Jean Williams did.